Today we're interviewing Denis from Wilson Real Estate, best of the best broker from Miami who just struck $19 million deal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. I know you had the birthday. So let's start from the beginning. How did you end up in Miami and where are you coming from?
Originally I'm from Russia, south of Russia, but I came here first to New York for a couple of months.
Cool.
And then I moved to North Carolina for a year. It was a small city, Outer Banks. It's like, it's okay in the summertime. It's good. When you're 20, I was 21 back then, like 20 to 21. It was fun, lots of young people, parties.
Girls?
Of course. But then when the winter came, it was kind of too, I would say too slow for me. It's small town, especially it was no season in the winter time. So
there's no work at some time?
At all, like zero. And then I moved to Miami and I was here since 2007.
2007, so this is 2021, 14 years.
Yeah.
Got it. Did you go to real estate from the beginning or you did something else?
No. When I came here first, I used to work at the, bunch of different places, restaurants and stores, the retail stores, like everywhere pretty much.
Cryptocurrency?
No, unfortunately no. Back then, no. It was actually, it was 2007. I would love to. Cryptocurrency started in 2009, right?
You should have been the pioneer.
Can you imagine that? My life would be different, but I don't know, in a good way, in a bad way, but anyway, no. So I did a lot of different things because I didn't have experience, life experience, right? I didn't have English, so I didn't know pretty much anything here yet. And then real estate I started 9 years ago in 2012, November, I think it was November 8th, I got my license. And since then, I've been doing it for 9 years, non-stop, 24/7.
What was the reason of going to real estate? Because I know that, like in New York, usually you start out, there's no salary. You don't make any money in the beginning. Was it like similar case for you?
It was a good year when I started. First year I did rentals, only rentals. I didn't do even one sale transaction, nothing. But it was a good year from what I understand right now. I'm not saying it was a great year, but it was a good year because I think I did around like maybe like 40 to like 60 transactions.
Rental transactions.
Rental transactions, and I did 60 to 80,000 for first year. It was not bad at all.
Just as a reference, so you have top brokers now who would start in only New York as a benchmark. I don't know much about Miami, right? But they would make like 10, 15 grand in the first year doing like a few rentals, couple of rentals.
Here in Miami, it's I think average is like 20,000 or something like that. But first year was pretty good. But I've been working like I cannot say like a lot or not a lot, but I've been working every day, because some people they take it they think like you own your own boss, and they think it's like you can wake up at 10 a.m. Like kick the
show
tires,
up once in a while.
And
5 days weekend.
Take it in the wrong way, but I started and I loved it. I didn't feel like it's a job, I just enjoy it. And I used to wake up at around 6:30, I think. From 7 to 12, I used to do Craigslist. I post 12 ads an hour, so it was 68 ads for 5 hours. And then after 12, I used to make calls. I start showings and all of that. So pretty much, I begin the day with ad postings, and then I used to.
So you would generate your own leads,
of course,
starting with Craigslist as the first platform. Got it. Did it work well for you back then?
Yeah, it worked well. And then after like, I don't remember how many months, maybe like 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. I don't remember, to be honest, exactly when I started, but somehow I got that idea. Look, if I'm making this amount of money within like a week or whatever it is, and I do postings like 5 hours a day, so I realized maybe it kind of makes sense to find someone like out of country, hire that person, he's gonna do posting for me, and I'm gonna
outsource the work.
I found a guy in India, one guy, then I found another guy. At one point I have like 2 or 3 guys working for me, and they are not like super professionals, of course, but because they're not in that field.
Did they speak English okay? Did they understand what to do?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. For money, I paid them about like $250 a month. $250 to $300 a month,
Got it.
And they did that posting for me and kind of helped me a lot at the beginning.
Got it.
And one of them, he worked with me for some time, for maybe like 2 or 3 years. It wasn't bad, but they I would say they fuck up a lot. It is reality, unfortunately. They kind of, but you know, I didn't expect anything from them because
got it.
They don't have degree or something like that. So, but it was great for me.
Okay, so you were like in the early 20s basically when you started. I mean, you moved to the US.
It was
in
20. I'm 36 right now, so it was about like when I started real estate. It was 27, something like that. Yeah.
Got it. So,
yeah, 27.
So you had your experience. You did a bunch of different jobs. You already had experience in the US.
Yep.
And then you went to real estate with no experience in real estate, basically.
No, not at all, zero.
But with good life experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Got it.
Yeah.
Was it hard to begin? Because like people usually think, oh, I need college degree, I need a certificate.
No. I think you have to understand what you're going to, because real estate, it's about the service, right? It's about people, and it's about sales.
Right.
You know, at the beginning, you don't want to accept it. You like you're just doing some things. Like luckily for me, I like to work, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a hard-working guy, and I've been working a lot, so it kind of helped me. But you gotta be open. You have to sell. You have to offer things.
Right.
Right now, after a few years, I understand that there's certain procedures where you have to follow up. You have to make calls. You have to offer people something. If someone requests something for, like for example, 1 million in this area, it doesn't matter that he doesn't want to see something in the different areas and up to 1.5.
Got it.
You just have to talk to people and see what they're looking for. But it comes with experience.
Yeah.
But in general, real estate, I think anyone can do it as long as you understand what is that about.
Right.
It's about people. It's about the service, as I said.
Right.
And it's about sales.
Got it. And like in terms of the intensity, how many days per week you would work? Like every day?
7 days. Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah, for
that's how it is. 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Not
no excuses.
Yeah, not 9 to 5 regular job, Monday to Friday with lunch breaks.
Yep.
All right. Another question. So, when did you first start getting success? I mean, you mentioned first year you did well. I think for the beginner, first year you did like really well. When was like the first time you noticed that you're becoming successful and like you're doing something great?
You know, honestly, like if I'm looking back, I kind of don't, like, how to explain it? I don't accept myself like, oh, I'm so good, I'm successful. But from what I'm seeing from the people around me, right, from the other realtors, broker, from friends, it looks like I've been doing well on every stage of my career, right? For the first year, I've been doing well. For the second year, not bad at all. It was first sale, and then more and more. And after my second year here in Florida, to become a broker, you need 2 years experience,
right?
And then you can get your license and you can open up your own brokerage. So what I did, I took education even before the 2 year period passed. So I took education.
You were ready before that.
Exactly, and then I was waiting for this 2 year period, and then I got my exam. I opened up my own brokerage.
So you first 2 years you worked for some other company?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you like them or they sucked?
The thing is, I was working for the guy. He didn't give me any advices or anything because I was on a, what do you call it, like a flat fee, whatever it is, like when you just pay like $500 for
like for the desktop fee, whatever,
and,
desk fee.
Like $50, $100 for rental, and but he didn't have any office or anything. And I called that guy, like I remember one time at 11 o'clock, and I got a feeling he just woke up. And I want to ask him about the contract or something, but he didn't really help, like at all. But it was kind of, I didn't understand at first point because I called him, but then I kind of figure out, okay, it is what it is. You know, I didn't like kind of bitch about it, you know, why he's not helping me or something.
Whine
I was
about
like, okay, it is what it is, you know. And now, and then after a few, I would say years, I understood. He didn't charge a lot of commission split. That's why he didn't help.
What was your split back then? Like
with him, it was like I paid $500 for sale.
That's it. No,
that's it. Yeah, but it's good. Like for example, for me, from what I've seen right now, it worked out well because it worked out well because I'm kind of the type of guy. I'm looking for the things myself. You know, I can search for things. If I don't know anything, I'm not afraid of saying it. I'm gonna find it. I'll figure out. You know, but in reality, for most of the people, they need advices. It is okay. You can cut corners much faster if somebody give you guidance. You know, maybe for me it would work even faster to get where I am right now. But maybe not. I don't know. But in reality. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is.
Got it. So you say you made the first sale deal on your second year?
Yeah, it was actually beginning of the second year.
Okay.
Guy, he found me. He was from Russia actually. He found me on the internet.
Was it like Craigslist? Oh, Zillow.
It was
okay.
Zillow. You know what was it? Zillow, truly, it was two different companies back then.
Back then,
yeah.
yes.
And on a Zillow, what you can do, you can post ad. For example, like let's put this building, 1800 Bayshore Drive, right here. It's a two building, two condos,
right there,
right behind it. And what you can do, like for example, 1800 Bayshore Drive, apartment like 2101, right?
Okay.
And you can do like one ad like that. But if you put 1800 Bayshore Drive, apartment AA 2101. It's a different address, and the Zillow cannot see it. So I used to have like
you would duplicate them.
Exactly. I used to have like 2,000 listings maybe on Zillow, and I had two phones. And my phones, when you scroll it down, by the end of the day, you just can get only to a point where it's around like afternoon. So I received like about like, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 calls on each phone.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to juggle it, you know, if I would have maybe an assistant, someone who can help me.
Too much to handle, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I would close more. But it is what it is. Zillow, thank you very much. It was helpful.
Zillow, stop increasing the prices in New York, please.
So back then, you know, I found a way. It was apartments.com. Then after that, so I used to do a lot of posting.
Right.
And the guy, he found me on Zillow.
Insane.
It was a Russian guy, and he approached me, and he's like, "I'm looking for apartment, blah blah." I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll sell it to you." And he kind of, I think, found what he wanted to buy, and he just asked me to help me with the sale and everything.
Transaction, paperwork.
I remember when he was asking me questions, I didn't know those sensors. I was like, yeah, I'll find out. And it is what it is, but I don't know how he finished it. But it's about the relationship, you know. People is gonna do business with you no matter what.
You build it.
Yeah, even if you, like sometimes they're losing it. If they know they can do business with you, they trust you.
Right.
I have clients, they sell real estate at loss because they bought it when at peak and they sell it when the market is going down. Of course, I suggest it's not a good idea, but look, if they need to do it, it is what it is.
They have to.
Exactly, but they still stay with me because it's all about trust.
Right. A lot of new real estate agents, I mean, those who just started, you know, last year, this year, sometimes 3 years ago, they would ask, how do I make my first sale? Because I know how to do rentals, I know how to get rental clients, but sale, it's, you know, the whole different game. So I think the transition from an agent who rents apartments to an agent who sells apartments is massive in a lot of heads, basically. I mean, it's a psychological barrier. Any suggestion like how to deal with this? Because you've been successful with like this creativity when it comes to, you know, posting on Zillow, stuff like this. Like nowadays, what do you think, doesn't have to be any specific, but like a general advice for someone who just started in real estate, you know, like you in first year did a bunch of rentals and wants to transition into sales, like anything to follow? I
would say you have to stick with first of all, you have to pre-qualify, but if you're not experienced, it's hard to pre-qualify because you don't know, like, you're afraid to ask things. You're afraid to ask if they have a mortgage pre-qualification or bank statement. It is reality. But I would first to say not to lose, like not to stop believing in it, in the client, because once we kind of have those inner voice saying to you, you know, forget about it, it's not going to work out, then we're just going to switch to someone else. But I would say you got to stick to clients because the sale it's not like a rental. Rental you can close within a week, right? Sometimes I have
faster.
I like, especially with experience, you can close it within an hour. But with the sales, you have to stick to that person. You have to figure out what they're looking for, and you have to close it. It takes like average sale. I remember there was some statistics. Average sale in the States, it's 183 days. So it's almost like 6 months, like 5 to 6 months. Especially if people are out of town or out of country, it's even longer. And you have to work with those people, and you have to understand what they're looking for. If you're not experienced, you don't know what to offer them, right? So I would say like stick to them, talk to them, offer them things, and you have to build trust. Like I remember since the beginning when I started working with the sales, I tell client, okay, let's go to get a coffee, do lunch. You gotta talk to people, and you got to listen to them.
Right,
It's not like you have to talk all the time. You got to listen. You have to spend more time with them and to figure out if they're really buyers, if they're really going to buy something now. Because once you spend more time, you will figure out what
you'll understand
exactly
the
what they're looking for.
Yeah.
If they're serious now, maybe they just first time in the city and they want to see
maybe
what it
shop
is.
around.
Exactly. You need to understand. And sometimes it's opposite. People can come, they didn't expect to buy anything. It happens to me when clients come here. They just come here. I remember I went for a tour with a guy. I took him from Sunny House. He rent apartment not through me actually. He rent through someone else, and then I was in touch with him. He said, like, I'm in Miami. I just want to stop by, say hi. I was like, yeah, come to my office. So he came. I drove him around. We passed by Aston Martin building.
The building.
And I told him, look, here's the sales office of the Aston Martin. Are you interested? And he's like, yeah, let's take a look. We stopped by, and then a couple of days of negotiation.
Okay.
And we closed the deal at 1 million.
Wow. So you sold it like this just because you met with a guy and listened to him.
Exactly.
Wow. Are you like more like less formal, more informal when it comes to clients?
I would say at first I'm super formal. I always say like in Russian language, we have like a ty and
yes,
вы, right?
Like formal and informal.
Yeah, like super formal. Like вы, I say super formal, like because when I don't know those people, I'd like to be professional first of all. Second of all, I don't like to go like too deep in, like, I don't know that person. I don't know how he can.
So like you gently doing reconnaissance.
Exactly, and I see we can, kind of become more like friends. Then I, of course, try to be more informal, right?
Awesome.
And it works because people do business with the people. They just want to know that they can trust you.
Speaking of trust, what do you think makes you like unique or makes like more outstanding as an agent? Because I know the stats here in Miami. In New York, you would have about 85,000 license.
Yeah.
It's probably half of them working actively, right? So you facing like a intense competition. I'm sure in Miami it's similar or whatever.
65,000 or something.
65,000. So that's a lot. What makes Denis, Denis different? Denis that sells $90 million apartments, houses that we're gonna talk as well about, from someone else.
I would say you gotta, first of all, you have to always talk about it, like everywhere. You cannot forget that you do real estate. Like any opportunity, like anywhere, you just have to talk about it.
Like always be closing, always
everywhere,
sell.
like on internet, like everywhere, on vacation, like on birthday. Like for example, I had my birthday like when was it? Like 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
So I had a girl. She's a Margot. Hi, if you're gonna watch it.
Hi, Margot.
So she was at my birthday, and then at one point she's like, "Hey, I found a house and I like it. I think I want to buy it. Can you help me?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And today she's actually probably looking at it with one of my agents right now.
Wow.
Because it was my birthday. But look, if someone wants to discuss that, I said, I'm gonna help you. I told her little details how we're gonna proceed, what we're gonna do, and today she's already, I guess, it's showing as of now.
Wow.
So I would say like you have to talk about it always, like 24/7, not to forget, because people sometimes be too shy,
Yeah.
And you have to show you professional. You have to learn stuff. You have to read stuff, not just about real estate in general, about the city in general.
So it's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's not like a corporate job. You left your office at 6 p.m. You go home. You switch off your computer. You don't have your email access, right? You're always on the grind.
Yeah.
Got it. So we fast forward 9 years. Then you sold a lot of properties. A recent one, I think, one of the recent one, $19 million house, right?
Yeah.
First of all, now I guess you focus mostly on sales, and your team, multiple guys, do all the rest?
Yeah, so personally I do sales only, and my team, my guys, they do rentals. They have, like, for example, if I do have a lead, right, I send it to one of my guys, and for example, if someone want to rent an apartment, whatever, like for a few $1,000s, 10,000, 15, 20,
right.
And we help that person with that, and that client's still in the company, right? And then if the client wants to buy something, we help with the sale, because in reality there is a lot of people who come to Miami first time, they buy something in the future, and we don't want to lose those clients' leads.
Right. Yeah. Do you have any like benchmarks? Say someone needs to have budget of at least whatever, $5,000 for you to work on that, or it doesn't matter?
With the rentals, I would say like 3,000 and up, at least if it's a 1 year lease.
Okay.
But with the short-term rentals, we prefer not to take anything less than like 4,000 or 5,000 and up.
Got it.
Because right now prices, especially higher than it was before in Miami, so it's kind of hard to find.
So price higher than before pandemic.
Yeah. And it's better to increase your budget with the experience with the time, because if you stick to levels that you started, you're not going to make any money. Because I'll tell you, from when I used to work at the Edgewater neighborhood, I started. Like
Edgewater is this way across the river.
Yeah, exactly. I lived there. It was 9 years ago, and I did rentals. I'm not saying all of them was like that, but some of the rentals was about like $1,000, like $800 a month. I mean,
and then commission here is 5% from
like
usually
5% or half month. So it's $400 or 5% from 96. It's about like 480.
So we're spoiled in New York, and New York is usually 1 month's rent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You work only in Miami, right?
Miami, I would say from Miami to from South Miami, right, to Fort Lauderdale. I can go up like South Florida. I can go there. It's only it depends on the request. You know, if I have someone and the deal makes sense for me, I can go there.
So you can pretty much cover most of Florida.
Yeah, I even had one client, he wanted to look something in West Palm. If it makes sense, then I'll go, then I'll put my time into it. But
so if you're looking for an apartment or a house here in Florida, Denis is the guy to go. If you're a broker who works in New York and has some interest from someone looking for an apartment in Miami or Florida, it's better to reach out to Denis as well, because it's much better to have someone who knows the market, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about this 19.
And also I want to say on that note, some like especially newcomers, I would say, they do not understand that it's better to share client than to lose it. Because like I remember at one point I had 65 agents in my company.
Wow.
And I remember new guys, they don't really understand that you cannot be greedy at the beginning. They
like everywhere.
Exactly. They have a lead, and like for example, he wants to rent something or buy something, and they already or I have a buyer. But look, if you don't know how to close it, it's not a buyer. It doesn't really matter. Like for you, because you have to get someone who's experienced, like your broker, or your manager, whatever, someone, or like a broker from other city that you can send client to him, and you can really work it out with that person, and then you can earn something, and that person can earn something.
And also, it doesn't have to be a different state. Like I just sold an apartment in Queens. I'm focusing mostly in Manhattan myself and Long Island City, but the Queens is further away, so I gave it to a fellow broker and got referral fee for that. Or Southampton. It's much better, as Denis is saying, to work on your area, and then let whoever is trained, whoever knows the market, do that thing. All right. Tell a little bit more, please, about this amazing deal, $19 million house that you sold. Like how the client found you, how you found the client, and how it went, how long it took.
Look, it was quickly, to be honest. I'll tell you how it happened. I met a client through our mutual friend at one of our events.
Like a party?
It was kind of like party. I would say it was a party. So and then he mentioned he might be interested to buy a house, but he didn't really say that he wanted to buy something. He just briefly said, what's on the market? Yeah, like what's on the market? Yeah, what's on the market?
Nonchalant way.
Yeah, we went for more drinks that day, and then next day he said, look, I'm going on a boat around like islands with my parents. You want to join me? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I took my girlfriend, and we kind of
cruised around.
Yeah, like around the islands, and he was like looking, asking questions. And then like next day we went to see a couple of houses, and then we were then we went to see a couple more and more, and then I found what happened, like we didn't see anything that was really attractive on the market, because the reality was that in this time in Miami there is no houses, unfortunately.
Everything sold.
No matter how like what budget, but like 20, 30 million, 50 million, there's no inventory. And houses that we've seen, he didn't like it. And then we saw one house that was not finished. Actually, we saw one house that was not finished, and there was contract GC company. So I drove around the next day. I see that sign. I called the guy. I said, "Look, do you have any houses?" I called actually a few different companies.
Okay. So you did your research. You reached out to people.
I called the guy. I said, "Look, you have something off market?" He said, "Look, you won't believe, but I have a house. It was custom built. It was a halfway. It was a shell, but it's not finished." said it was built for a client of his, but the client passed away, and his kids probably is gonna sell it. And we sent an offer. It was a 18 million offer, and then there was someone else bidding.
All right.
And it
bidding worse, so you had to go against someone else?
It was off market, but it was still someone else interested.
Okay.
So at 19 million, we got that house. And then what happened, I'll tell you. Maybe a week prior of closing, he's been offered 25 for that house. So he can make 6 million on top of his 2 million in escrow, because he didn't put all the money, right? But he didn't want to sell it. He said, "Look, I'm not going to sell it because I won't find anything else."
Okay.
So we closed on the property, and it was within maybe month and a half or something. Because I did strong offer. I did 2 weeks closing with a 10% upfront. Usually here's a 30 days closing, but I did deals with a 2 weeks closing. To do title search here, it takes 14 days.
14 days.
So I've done it with my title company guys, and that's why we sent that offer. But then were some issues with survey, something like that. So not the issue, but it took a little bit more time. And also since it was kind of estate sale, so it needs
because
to be
he died, right?
Exactly. He did sign in advance something in New York, but it wasn't signed here, so it took some extra time, and eventually we sold after month and a half.
Well, this is insane. What's the commission here? 3%, something like this?
3%, yeah. 3%.
So you made $570,000 in one transaction.
Yep.
Congrats. This is insane. Is there any difference between someone who is buying, say, $1 million apartment and $19 million apartment? As the broker, do you approach them differently, or it's pretty much the same style that you do?
Do you know that guy? You work for a while with him. I was like, yeah, man, just send it, Stop talking, send it,
Press enter button, approve.
He sent it quickly. But it was, of course, I didn't know the client well, too. I understand he was kind of worried about it. But he's a very nice guy, very cool guy, very cool. Very, I would say, low profile guy, but a very cool guy.
That's funny. So, because you have some of your social media is in Russian language, right?
Yeah,
so my mom is your biggest fan.
Really? Wow.
Yes, and she asked, and she asked me to ask you.
Yeah.
I guess from the buyer's perspective, because she bought a bunch of apartments herself. How do you make sure that you can trust the broker?
Yeah.
And how, as a client, you can make sure that you're getting a good deal? I guess for you, it's more the question of how you make sure that their side is receiving that.
I would say. You need to talk a lot. What I mean by that, if you sold 100 million a year but nobody knows about it, what are you gonna do about it? The same thing with the client. When I meet a client, I try to give him as much information as possible. I'd like to tell about my experience. It's not about to show off.
It has nothing to do with bragging, right? It's more showing your record.
You need to explain exactly. You need to explain, because you meet someone the first time. You may be for example, this year we sold so far over 70 to 80 million so far.
It's insane.
My team, yeah.
And it's still summer.
Yeah, it's still summer.
Halfway through.
So, but the thing is, if I'm not gonna talk about it, if I'm not gonna market it, nobody's gonna find out.
Right.
And if I meet new client and I'm not gonna tell them about our sales, about my team, about me personally, I've been here for 14 years. I used to live in every neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
But all those things, he's not gonna find out.
And you're also quite approachable guy, right? I mean, you do talk about yourself, about your life. Not every broker is like this. I mean,
you have to open up. You have to tell things. Especially with the Russian people. There's we're Russians too. We are super closed, right? You need to break that ice. You have to show them, look. Just relax,
It takes time to melt this ice, but once you melted it, there's no limit.
If needed to be a drink, a beer, whatever it is, coffee, whatever
it takes.
Exactly.
Sauna.
Yeah. You have to open. You have to talk about. You have to explain. You have to tell about your experience. You have to tell about yourself, because you need to talk. You need to talk.
Right.
As you said, it's not a bragging. It's it's a presentation, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, like different cultures, especially like we work in New York, there's people from everywhere, just like here, I guess. And like in some cultures, it's not acceptable, you know, like to brag. I mean, it's considered like you bragging. And I always explain even to my agents that it's like a social proof. You show social proof that someone trusted you. And also, as you say, it builds this trust with the other guy.
I'll tell you about my recent deals. It's going to close on September 3rd.
Okay.
One of my girls, she's an agent. She found the lead online on Facebook. Girl put an ad, I'm looking for a realtor in Miami. Anyone?
Okay.
In a Facebook group, Russian group. Of course, there was like thousands of realtors like trying to get her attention.
Competition.
Yeah, but
like seagulls for the food.
But my girl, my agent, she's got in touch with her. She jumped on a call. She sent her some properties, but same time I know she's been in touch with other agents as well. And then I met with that client when she came here. My agent, she followed up her. So the client came here with the husband at the one hotel. They stay at one hotel. So I came for introduction, and that agent, my agent, she said, "Look, Denis, now it's all yours. You know, this meeting is gonna make it happen, or it's not gonna make it happen."
Got it.
So we met, and then next day we did maybe 4 or 5 showings, and they were here for 2 days.
Only 2 days.
2 days, and we closed the deal, 5.5 million.
Wow.
It was a 6 million property, and I negotiated to 5.5 at this market. Of course, they're happy. And what I was trying to say just at this meeting, it was maybe like 40 minutes meeting. It was a kind of introduction presentation of myself, right? Of the company, of the deals and everything.
Right.
If I could make it happen or not, so I did.
Insane. Note question real quick. How many apartments you show usually on average before you close the deal?